So you want to learn how to negotiate, or you want to take hostages. Maybe I should think this through a little bit more.
A woman taken hostage in the middle of the day by a criminal claiming to be armed. In situations like this, hostage negotiators are charged with making split-second decisions that could mean life or death.
Negotiators are working around the clock to help secure her release.
A tense hostage crisis that is now entering its fourth night.
The deadline for her execution has passed.
With us now to help break down the investigation, retired FBI Special Agent Hostage Negotiator Christopher Voss.
He is a former FBI lead international kidnapping negotiator.
Welcome back everyone, Andrew Moore here. Recently I took FBI hostage negotiator Chris Voss's masterclass on negotiation. Now, to avoid the obvious, Chris Voss didn't become the head negotiator for the FBI in hostage negotiations without being good at negotiation. So if you're here to find out whether the course is worth it, let me tell you right now, it's worth it. However, if you want to know a little bit more about the course and what you're likely to learn and how the course actually works, then stick around because we're going to give you a review here today. So the way the course actually works is it's a group of lessons that go one by one, essentially teaching you techniques around negotiation. Chris will spend one lesson that might take 15 minutes teaching you a specific technique within the negotiation space. Now, with courses I've done in the past, some of the problems I've run into is people will often talk about the techniques, but you don't get to see them actively using it. So it's quite hard to actually implement that technique just from listening to the theory behind that technique. Chris, on the other hand, actually does live negotiations where he will demonstrate the techniques that he's just taught you in an actual negotiation. So how do these techniques actually work? Well, I don't want to spoil the course for you, but essentially the whole purpose of these techniques is to get the person on the other side of the negotiation to see your point of view. This is not done by arguing your point of view at them like most of us would do in a negotiation, but instead getting the opposition to actually open up the conversation and arrive at the conclusion themselves rather than feeling that you led them there, even if you did. This way the person on the other side of the fence feels that it was a group discussion in coming to this decision rather than being forced into an outcome that they did not want.
You're in negotiations all day long. If you want somebody to say yes to anything, you're in a negotiation. If somebody's trying to get you to say yes to something, you're in a negotiation. If you say I want or you think I need, you're in a negotiation. You're probably in 3 to 7 negotiations every single day.
One of my favorite parts of the course was actually the live negotiations that Chris did, which was role play with an actor. Chris instructs the person on the other side of the negotiation to pick any topic that they are genuinely passionate about. So the actor doesn't really have to try, they actually legitimately know a lot about the scenario, and Chris actually knows very little about the scenario. The actor does not know what the techniques are that Chris is using until after the negotiation, so the actor simply feels like they're having a conversation. Chris points out at the end of the session that he didn't actually ask any questions. He just made assumptions which got them to open up and explain more from their point of view. He also avoided telling the other person any information, but got a lot of information from them. One of the things that was really good about this course was Chris actually implemented role play in real life scenarios. So he did a role play on negotiating against your kids, negotiating with colleagues in the workplace, negotiating to get yourself a raise, and he even threw in a hostage negotiation at the end just for fun.
Ring, ring.
I need a car in 60 seconds or she dies.
Okay, let's just, I want to tell you what my name is. My name's Pam, and I'm here to help you get through this. What's your name?
I have no intention of telling you that, Pam. You have 55 seconds.
Being the top hostage negotiator for the FBI for a number of years meant that Chris has a lot of footage of him actually negotiating against bank robbers and other people in hostage negotiation situations.
Well, David, at about 8:30 this morning, 4 people, at least 2 believed to be armed, attempted to hold up the Chase Manhattan branch in the Park Slope section of Brooklyn. This is a nice section of New York City, by the way.
I'm in New York City one morning, getting ready to do an interview. One of my hostage negotiation compadres, one of my colleagues, comes up to my desk and says, there's a bank robbery with hostages in Brooklyn. Let's go.
Not only did we get to see the news side of things and see the bank itself, where the police were positioned, but we also get to see Chris actually negotiating against the bank robber who has the hostages. We got to see voice recordings so we could actually hear exactly what Chris was saying to the bank robber and what the bank robber was saying back to Chris. Then it would cut to Chris in a third-party interview where he would be explaining what technique he used in that sentence, what he did well or didn't do well, and how the bank robber actually responded to what he was trying to do.
Your driver, you said we chased your driver away. Was he driving a van?
No, my driver was in front of the van, in front of the bank.
Okay, but is this your van out here, the blue and gray van?
We don't have one vehicle.
You have more than one vehicle?
We only have one vehicle.
Now, he is all over the place right now. I am being completely surprised by most of the things that he's saying at this point in time. And the majority of what I'm doing is mirroring, which, again, this is how it's so useful to you if you've got this as a skill in your repertoire, because you can be caught off guard by what the other person is saying. And you just start repeating what they're saying, mirroring it, and they keep talking.
The techniques he's using in these hostage negotiations are the same techniques that he teaches in the course. So we've already learnt the technique and understand the principles behind it, and then we get to see it actually used in a real life scenario. So after actually taking the course myself and putting in quite a bit of time watching all of the episodes, taking good notes, I would say that if you want to become a great negotiator overnight, it's certainly a good stepping stone in the right direction, but you can't expect just to watch it and all of a sudden be great at negotiation. It is going to take role-playing these situations because it does take quite a bit of talent to get all of these techniques. I think there's about 9 or 10 all up, which he uses in a conversation. So it takes a lot of practice to mix all of these without adding in any random conversation that actually will hurt your negotiation. However, if you're in a sales role or some role where you actually want to get better at negotiation, or you even just want to get better at managing your children and maybe having an easier time getting them to do those little things that you're asking them to do, this could be a great course for you to take if you're willing to put in a little bit of time practicing. I hope you enjoyed this course. Let me know down in the comments below if you actually decided to take the course based on this video. Subscribe for future videos if you're not already, and I'll see you guys on the next one.